everybody. My name is Cynthia Gallardo, and I am so excited to be here with you today. I am Cynthia Gallardo, your favorite legacy lady. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today at the great, awesome Employee to Entrepreneur Summit. That's right, the Employee to Entrepreneur Summit, which will give you the opportunity to expand your mindset, comfort zone, and business skills to be able to catapult your business forward. And I particularly or specifically will be sharing the Launch to Legacy 5-step blueprint that will allow you to launch, build, and protect your business. And I will focus specifically on the protect phase so that you can live and leave a lasting legacy. So I'm here to tell you, I am coach, business strategist, author, speaker, and attorney, and my focus will be to assist you, to help you catapult your business forward. And I am so excited about this. So as we get started here, I just want to share with you a little bit more about myself and my mission. My mission is to act as a catalyst that empowers and inspires entrepreneurs struggling to transform a business idea to a vision, to a reality, to a profitable business by discovering their unique business DNA to launch, build, and protect their legacy. That's right. In this case, to launch, build, and protect your legacy. And my focus will be to really address the protect your legacy phase so that you can live and leave a lasting legacy. So as we get started here, I want to make sure we talk about some housekeeping guidelines so we can get the best benefit out of today's event, this Employee to Entrepreneur Summit. So as I mentioned, I introduced myself, your favorite legacy lady, Cynthia Gallardo. And I want you to have fun as we're going through this event, through this process. It's really a journey as we go from beginning to end here. And I want you to please take some notes. I'm a huge note taker. I always take notes because I can guarantee that you will want to go back and really reevaluate some of the things that you're taking notes today in the particular sessions that you'll be joining. And I can tell you there's a great lineup of speakers at today's event, the Employee to Entrepreneur Summit. So take advantage of this opportunity. It's all about you. Shut off all the distractions that you can and take this time to really focus on you and your business health. So let's go ahead and put your phone on airplane mode, or you can even turn it off if you'd like. So I'd like to just kind of sit back a little bit, take a moment to think about this. Have you ever struggled with not knowing if you even need a trademark? If you're going to today, you are going to discover what having a trademark means for you. And if you've ever wondered about how to even get started with the trademark process, then this is for you. And if you've ever been afraid to start the trademark process because you lack confidence and fear, you don't even have the necessary skill set, have no fear, this is for you. And if you know that you want to protect your legacy, but time stops you, then this is for you. You are in the right place at the right time. So imagine how you would feel. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine how you would feel if you could confidently protect your legacy, have a clear understanding of what having a trademark is and what it means for you and your business, and have a checklist of required information for a trademark application. Well, go ahead and open your eyes. You are in the right place at the right time. You will be able to achieve each of those things after today's presentation or discussion. So I'll share with you a little bit about my story and why it's so dear to my heart to be a part of this great summit, the transition from employee to entrepreneur, because I've been there, I've done that. My husband and I were full-time employees. I was working in a Fortune 500 company, a telecommunications company, for almost 15 years. I loved what I was doing. I was helping people become the best version of themselves. My team, I was able to lead a team of almost 1,000 people under me. I was so excited to do what I did every single day. And my husband was a full-time welder. Well, at a particular point, we knew we wanted to transition into the CEO version, right? Going from employee to CEO so we could spend more time with individuals that we loved, our families, and doing the things that we love doing. So we decided to put a plan in place. Well, at a moment, everything changed. We started working our plan, and then it got put to the backside, right? Because our salary was coming in and we just kept working and working and working. Well, at that moment, boom, I was let go from my job. And all that time I'd spent with the company, it was gone. So we had to really jump forward with our plan and put everything into play immediately. Well, I will tell you this, because I had been with the company for almost 15 years, given the best of my life, I spiraled into a deep depression. And my husband had never seen me like that. I'm actually a very positive person normally. So he whisked me away to the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls. If you've ever been there, it's absolutely beautiful. And I was really able to take a different perspective or look at things. And I focused on all the benefits, all the positives that came from my journey, my experience in corporate America. And I was able to bring that forward, overcome that fear, the overwhelm, the fear of failure, right? Of starting our own business, of that entrepreneurship role. And we changed our perspective and focused on the positive. We changed our mindset. We invested in ourselves and surrounded ourselves with entrepreneurs who had been there and done that. And I'm proud to say I became a solution maker, a problem solver, as I normally do. And I created a Launch to Legacy blueprint that takes a holistic approach to business, or holistic approach to entrepreneurship. So I'm so excited to share that with you today before we move into the specific trademark piece. So what I've created is a process that you go through, and synergy is one of my favorite words. I actually came across that word when we had to study the books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And one of the habits is synergize. And synergy is the sum of the whole is greater than the individual parts. So if you take that concept, that I learned about while I was going for my MBA, and I applied it into the Launch to Legacy blueprint. So if you draw a star on that piece of paper that you're taking notes, and it doesn't have to be a perfect star, no worries, no judgment here. But if you draw that star and you put SY on the top, as I did, on the right prong, you'll take NE for next everyone else, an R, and then a G, and then a Y, just like you see there in the presentation or in the discussion that I'm sharing with you. And this is what I call your Launch to Legacy journey, or the journey that we're going through here. So the one that I'll focus on today is the G, for the give. But let's go ahead and just real quick go through the Save Yourself is for the SY. NE is next everyone else. Repeat, reevaluate, readjust, and then the give. And then the Y is yes, yes, yes. This is where you celebrate those successes, those small successes leading up to the big success. So let's go back to the G, which is that fourth prong there. And this is where it's give. This is where, as part of your legacy, you live it now, yet you take proactive steps to really protect that legacy now so that you can leave a lasting legacy. And what I mean by that is you document everything. You want to make sure you protect your legacy with estate planning, a business succession plan, and then also in this particular case, what I want to address is the trademark process. You want to make sure you protect your legacy, your name, your logo, and or also your tagline slogan with a trademark. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I'm not saying you have to do it now. What I'm saying is you want to identify when it's best for you, your business, and your family, and then make that decision to protect your legacy with the trademark. So a lot of people ask, why? Why should I protect my legacy with the trademark? Well, you choose when it's best for you, your family, and your business, as I mentioned. And you can even do it yourself. I'll be going through some steps today that will help you do it yourself if you'd like to. So I always compare this to building a home. Building a home is like building a business, or vice versa. So as you build a house or build a home, you have to have a strong foundation, right? You always want to make sure it's built on something strong so that it can overcome any challenges or any type of, I guess you could say, inclement weather that comes through. So I always think of it this way, like I live in Louisiana, southern part of Louisiana, and we have a lot of hurricanes here. So we could never build our home with a basement. But I used to live in northern Illinois, in near the Chicago area, and there we had to have basements because there were a lot of tornadoes. So you always have to think of your circumstances and what's the best way to build your house, depending on the circumstances or the environment that you're located in. The same thing for your business. You always want to think about your circumstances and what's best for you at that time. So yet I always say this, build your house on a strong foundation based on what's best for you and your family. Then I get to the next step with a home. Most homes nowadays have an alarm system, right? And it's there to protect your home. And so you want an alarm in your business to protect your business. And I consider an alarm to be like the proper business formation, getting it started correctly, and then also making sure you have the right insurance for your business. So that sets that protection for you from a business perspective. Then I get to the exciting part, the trademark or the camera part. So a lot of people, or most people, have a camera nowadays. In fact, there's a lot of doorbell cameras out there, right, to protect your home while you're away from home. So that's the same type of concept with the trademark. A trademark is that protection for your business while you're not necessarily always in your business. It's that extra set of eyes for your business. And what I mean by that is you can protect your business, protect your name, tagline, slogan, or your logo with federally with the trademark. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the specifics of what a trademark is. So I want you to be in the know. What is a trademark and why apply for a trademark? We already discussed a little bit about the why to protect your legacy, but let's go into the what. So a trademark, if you think about it, and I do want to tell you all this information you can specifically find at uspto.gov. It's a great site, and it shares so much information there. Sometimes, though, when we get so much information, we feel overwhelmed. So I've pulled out some of the key pieces that will allow you or really help you understand what specifically the trademark is. So a trademark can be any word, phrase, symbol, design, or a combination of these things that identifies your goods or services. It's how a customer recognizes you in the marketplace and distinguishes you from your competitors, right? And I always say this: you are unique, nobody else can be you, so there's no competition against you. Yet your trademark will allow you to really distinguish yourself as well. So the word trademark can refer to both trademarks or service marks. And a trademark is used for goods, while service mark is used for services. So if you want to think about it a little bit deeper, or I should say higher level, a trademark identifies the source of your goods or services. It provides legal protection for your brand, and it also helps you guard against counterfeiting and fraud. And that's where I could, as an attorney, go, and if somebody's trying to utilize your name, your brand, your tagline, your slogan, I could send them out a cease and desist letter as long as you have your application submitted to the trademark office. So we would go from using that TM to an R with the circle, which I'll show you later. And if you think about it, having a TM or an R with the circle that registered with the uspto.gov, that actually brings a lot of credibility to you and your business. It's almost, I compare it to the BBB, or the Better Business Bureau A+ rating. So now I want you to know about some misconceptions. Yes, some common misconceptions out there. A common misconception is that having a trademark means you legally own a particular word or phrase and can prevent others from using it. However, you don't have rights to the word or phrase in general, only how that word or phrase is used within your specific goods or services. So I always like to use this example that's at the uspto.gov site. Let's say you use a logo as a trademark for your small woodworking business to identify and distinguish your goods and services from other woodworking field in the industry, right? This doesn't mean you can't stop others from using a similar logo for non-woodworking related goods or services. So if somebody wanted to, let's say, open up a restaurant with that woodworking logo, they could do that because it's completely different from the particular goods or services that you're utilizing in that particular industry. So you always want to be careful, make sure you understand that distinction. Another common misconception is believing that choosing a trademark merely describes your goods or services is effective. I want to tell you this: creative and unique trademarks are more effective and easier to protect. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Before we do that, though, I do want to share with you the 5 key steps in the trademark process. I'm a big person about understanding the big picture, and then we dig deeper into the details. So first, you would want to name your business, product, or service, identify the trademark you can and should protect, conduct a search to determine that your proposed trademark is available for use and registration in the United States USPTO.gov. And then you want to execute the trademark application process with the uspto.gov site, maintain and enforce your rights as a trademark owner. So those are 5 key steps that you want to go through. And then I did use a few words here. The uspto.gov, that's actually the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So that's where you would go for any additional references or questions you may have, or you can reach out to me directly, as I'll share some contact information with you as well. So you want to identify what you can and should protect. First of all, you definitely want to protect your business name. You want to choose a unique name that sets you apart. Some examples of what you can trademark are business name, product name, service name, course name, blog name, podcast name, slogan, tagline, and logo. So I know as an audience here, most of you are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. You are entrepreneurs, and you may be in the phase now where you want to build your business out. And so now you're at the phase where you really do want to protect your business, your name, your tagline, slogan, and your logo. So these are the ways that you can do that. So let's talk a little bit what it means to be a strong trademark versus a weak trademark. So on the USPTO.gov site, it gives out this really this excellent gauge. You have strong to weak. So you definitely want to focus on the strong trademarks. And those are typically creative or unique, and they set you apart from your competitor. So those would be ones that fall into the fanciful, arbitrary, or suggestive trademark. So what does it mean to be a fanciful trademark? That's a great word, a great question. It means these are invented words. So if you think about it, Exxon, Pepsi, those were words that were made up in that particular industry, and those are the best type of trademarks. Then you can also get an arbitrary trademark, an arbitrary trademark. So that would be something like Apple. If you think of Apple, you think of maybe like an apple orchard that they grow, on trees, etc. But Apple tied to like an iPhone or some type of technology, that would be an arbitrary trademark. Then you come to a suggestive trademarks, and these are the ones that they suggest some type of quality or of goods or services. So if you think about it, copper tone, you can think it's tied in or suggestive to some type of sun tanning product or lotion out there, or suntan oil. So those are the three that are the strongest: fanciful, arbitrary, and suggestive. Then we get to the unacceptable ones. These would be the weak ones that you want to avoid, and they would be descriptive. So example, you wouldn't want to use creamy for some type of yogurt that you're trying to trademark, or apple pie for potpourri, or bed and breakfast registry for some type of lodging services. And then definitely you don't want a generic trademark, which would mean bicycle for a bicycle shop. That doesn't make sense. It would be too generic out there, and it wouldn't be a strong trademark for you, or bagel shop for a bagel shop. So you want to go back to focus on the strong, fanciful, arbitrary, and suggestive trademarks, names for your trademark. So those are the key distinctions between the two. Now we go back to the analogy of the house, right? So I want to say knock, knock, right? We get to the particular piece here of the how you can do this. So now we get to the how. You can use the trademark ID manual, and you can identify or get that at the USPTO.gov site to identify correct classes and descriptions. So you can do a trademark search using the USPTO.gov site. You can use what they call the TESS, or Trademark Electronic Search System. It's free of charge. And then you can also use other free tools such as the Secretary of State site in your particular state, social media, the internet, Amazon, domain searches. All those things will let you know if those are available and not being utilized by other individuals at this particular point. So what you want to do to prepare your application, you want to prepare a separate trademark application for each name, tagline, or logo that you'll be utilizing. You can't put them all together. They have to be distinct applications for each. And then you want to determine if you are filing for a word mark or a design mark. And that's important because you'll need to share the specifics or pictures, what we call it, or specific evidence of that being utilized. And you'll send pictures or other things that can assist with that to the USPTO.gov site. So a standard character would be one of word mark and a block letter, or a special form would be stylized or design mark. So I'll show you what that means here. A standard example would be like Coca-Cola, Under Armour. Those are standard names. Or even the tagline, it's finger licking good. We know that comes from Kentucky Fried Chicken, Just Do It, America Runs on Duncan. Those would be standard examples. And then we get to the specialized example, which is like McDonald's. Everybody knows about the golden arches. They can be tied to a design or a color. And then also even the swoosh, like with Nike. And even Nike has a trademark, that sound that goes with the swoosh. So those are all tied in with specialized examples. Now you want to move to the next step of preparing the application. You have to determine if you are utilizing an application that's based on current use, or intent to use. Current use means that you're currently utilizing in service, or you're utilizing that particular name, trademark, I'm sorry, your particular name, logo, tagline, or slogan with any type of product or services at the moment. Or if you intend to use it, you would use the intent to use application. So there's 5 steps to be able to, in a big picture understanding. As I mentioned, I like to make sure you understand the big picture before we dig deeper. You want to file your trademark application. USPTO then examines the mark, and they will let you know if there's an action, some type of office action or refusal, and you have 6 months to respond. Then the USPTO publishes the mark in what they call the official gazette for a 30-day opposition period. Then the USPTO issues what we call a notice of allowance. And that means you're getting closer to getting your trademark registered. Then you get the USPTO registering your trademark. And this is where you celebrate. We're able to celebrate. You have the certificate. It's been registered, and you can transition to using the R with the circle with your particular name, logo, or your tagline slogan, as we saw earlier. So what do you need? If you're in current use, you'll need 7 key things. First, you want to make sure you have a trademark applicant or owner name. And I always recommend use your business name. You don't want to use your personal name. You want to use a business name. You want the mailing address and email correspondence. You'll also have to have a special form filing. So you want to make sure you submit a clear JPEG image of the stylized or design mark that I shared earlier, and a written description of the mark. That's very important to make sure it's very specific and detailed for the written description, and a description of the goods and services currently offered, and the date of first use of the mark anywhere, and the date of the first use of the mark in interstate commerce in connection with your goods or services that you're applying for. Normally, those are the same date, yet I could help you determine if there are distinct dates or separate dates. And that's something that definitely, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by that, the very specific steps that we can take to identify those. Number 6, evidence showing use of the mark in connection with the applied goods or service. And then you file it. USPTO filing fees. Every application requires a specific filing fee per class. So I do want to clarify that or make sure you understand that as well. So now we get into the intent to use, and these are 5 steps versus the 7 steps. So you'll have the trademark applicant or owner's name, which, as I mentioned, always highly recommend your business, your mailing address and email address. You have to have the clear JPEG image of the style as your design mark, your special form filing, and the written description, a description of all the goods and services intended to be offered. And I mentioned that intended because it's intent to use, and then also the USPTO filing fees here. The fee is the application per class, as I mentioned previously. So you file now you can file the application online. You can use what we call the TEAS online filing system, and T stands for Trademark Electronic Application System, and you can use T Plus or T Standard. If your goods or services is already in the trademark ID manual I mentioned earlier, then you can utilize that. If not, you use the TEAS standard filing system. So now I want to go back to those 5 steps I shared earlier. Now you know that we've done step 1, or we've identified what you need to do to file the trademark application. Now you would go into step 2, and then all the way through 5, where we get to the celebration point. And I just want to share with you a success story of someone that came to me. They had originally started the process themselves, but they decided, you know what, I do want to make sure I protect my legacy and I do it correctly. He had submitted the application, but there was what we call the statement of use that I mentioned that came back to him, and he just felt so overwhelmed, wasn't sure what he needed to do to confidently respond. And I was able to help him in sharing the tools and resources that are available. And I can say successfully, he has confidently protected his legacy, which I'm so excited to share. And that's what you can do as well. You can protect your legacy. You can overcome that fear, that feeling of overwhelm, and you have the tools and resources to do it as well. So today you've learned, or at least I hope you've learned, 3 things that you can take back. And please write those down in your notes, and those 3 things that will allow you to protect your legacy. And I want you to know you can do it. There is strategy, structure, support, and synergy available to you so that you can get on that fast track to protect your legacy. And I want to ask you this: how many of you know you can do it yourself? or maybe you're going to need some help. It's okay if you ask for help and need help. You have three choices today. Remember, I talked about perspective and making sure we move forward. Well, today you can do nothing and continue to struggle with not having all this trademark process sorted out or protecting your legacy. Or you can get started and do it yourself because I've shared those key steps with you. Or you can fast track your journey, your trademark journey by starting today and allowing me to be your guide as you move forward. I'd be happy to and privileged to, and I would love to help. So what's your next step? Definitely you want to take action to protect your legacy when it's right for you, your business, and your family. And also, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can reach me at Cynthia Gallardo Legacy on Instagram, or my email is cynthia@cynthiagallardo.com. And then also, so exciting here, I want to offer you this opportunity. You can set up a free strategy call with me at www.freestrategycallwithcynthia.com. It's normally a $297 value. If you schedule it within the next 24 hours, you will receive the free strategy call first. And then also you'll be locked into the employee to entrepreneur discount for your trademark. It's a significant trademark for anyone associated with this particular summit. So please take advantage of that. I'd love to be able to help you with that, to put on my attorney hat and be able to help you through this process. I'm so excited. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today at the Employee to Entrepreneur Summit. And thank you once again. My name is Cynthia Gallardo. I'm signing off as your favorite legacy lady. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to continuing to collaborate with you in the future. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Cynthia Gallardo signing off as your favorite legacy lady.